residential buildings here and here. There are now 51 construction sites in downtown Brooklyn. Tremendous boom in this great neighborhood. Affordable housing as well, a very key part of our strategy. And also, absolutely key, invest in public open space. Several reasons. One, it provides amenity, but it also transforms your perception of an area. So the slide on the left is Flatbush Avenue, which has no green on it now, nothing. So we put in a median, trees on either side that knits the existing community of Fort Greene on the way left to the downtown Brooklyn, really creating a place. Again, the architectural identity, the building that's, the office building there is exactly what they're going to build, and then enhancing the transit center. So we're building a whole, with the MTA, a new transit center on J Street right there. So this is a tremendous business district, and it's just taken off. So moving to the next borough. This is Queens, Long Island City. And as you can see, the 59th Street Bridge, the Chrysler Building, the Empire State Building. Again, one subway stop from Manhattan. Long Island City is a fantastic place for an office district. This is the Citicorp Tower, Citibank Tower right here. Excuse me. So the first thing we looked at, and I have to say, and here I am talking to the Preservation Society, but all of our rezonings combine preservation and growth. Preservation of existing communities and their fabric is key to an identity of community. It's its backbone. It's what attracted people there in the first place. It has a sense of scale, of neighborhood fabric. Very important. So between, and this is waterfront development. You may remember if you've been there on the East River, it's called Queens West. But in between the Citibank Tower and Queens West was this wonderful neighborhood called Hunters Point. It's where PS1 is. It has a wonderful fabric, has a built context of loft buildings. So the first thing was to preserve that. Low density height limits. And channel development right here on Jackson Avenue, where it's now taking off. These buildings have already been built. So high density around the transit core. Preserve this neighborhood. And again, invest in public open space. This is the number 7 line coming over the 59th Street Bridge. This is a new park that we're building to really give lungs to this part of the city, amenity, and a real identity. This is Long Island City. And great architecture. It's a very tall towers, but it's by Richard Rogers, but it will give an identity, an architectural identity to Long Island City. It is very big, but I would just tell the story that I will tell my friends I'm going to Long Island City today, whatever, and they said, well, will you be back tonight? And I said, people don't know where Long Island City is, and it's such a cool neighborhood. So this Richard Rogers building, it will combine a museum, it's a Silver Cup Studio, so it can expand 8 sound stages there, residential towers to help finance the development, but give an identity to Long Island City. And people say, like, oh, that's where Long Island City is, and then they'll come and invest. It's very important. Jamaica, Queens was a great place for an office district, again, mixed use, office and residential district. You have the air train right there, a great place to build on, a proximity by the air train, only 7 minutes to Kennedy Airport. So this is what a zoning plan actually looks like. But you can see in this plan that the dark areas are higher density, and the pale yellow areas are low density. It's very complicated in this district because these are all single-family homes, with a front yard and a rear yard, a front lawn. So we had to transition to these different neighborhoods. So all the zonings are street by street, lot by lot, block by block. Yes, I do walk every one of them myself many times, and every time I walk I see something that needs to be adjusted and little transition zones, and it's a huge area. This is, if you think of like 4 blocks in Manhattan, just think about that. This rezoning is 368 blocks, the largest in the city's history. We got it passed in August, very important. It started to develop now, and it will be very successful, very important for Queens, very African-American community. This will be a great economic generator, job generator for Jamaica. Around the Bronx, this is definitely the area of the Bronx. This is the very south part of the Bronx. We have worked on rezoning all of this area for more residential development, for mixed-use development. This is where you actually have light industry and housing together. A lot of artists here in Port Morris. And then for a real kickoff, the new Yankee Stadium is almost complete. It's going to open next year, as you know. And that was a tremendous generator for the Bronx. And right below it is, which is just the next block down, a 1 million square feet retail center, the largest private investment in the Bronx ever. So this has been, so these kind of steps of confidence, economic investment, really have a synergistic effect and catalyze more economic development. The hardest rezoning that I've ever worked on, and I'm in the middle of it right now, is 125th Street. If you know 125th Street, of course you do. It's the most famous street in the world. It's a street where you have the Apollo, and you have the Lenox Lounge, and all the excitement of the culture and the politics. And if you go up there, you'll say, like, there's nothing here. It's one-story taxpayer stores. There's only the Studio Museum and the Apollo, the only cultural institutions on the street. There's almost no residential development. When I went to the Apollo the last time, I went with a friend of mine who is a very important executive on 125th Street, and I said, where we go for dinner? She said, downtown. There are no restaurants on 125th Street. There's Sylvia's a few blocks away, but it's nothing there. So what it needs is a new zoning that will catalyze both residential and office development, and most importantly, make it a center of culture, retail, and entertainment. So for the first time, we're offering a bonus, an arts bonus. So any development that puts a not-for-profit performing or visual arts space will give a 3 FAR, that's actually quite a lot, bonus to development. We're also having a requirement for an entertainment requirement, so that if you put a restaurant or a record store or whatever, that you have to do that as part of your development. And we